Hello, everybody, and that was insane to say the least. But they were able to hold Breeze in check for the most part. Outside of the second half, they had a little bit of their ways. But for what Breeze normally does, you get the 2 picks. He's 25 of 40. He had 7.3 average, 294. He kind of had his way in the second half. The first half was great. Second half could use some work. Rushing, they couldn't really get much done, only 80 yards. And then receiving, Michael Thomas once again kind of had his way. That was their main go-to guy. And then, although the things I would say that matter the most, they had 26 minutes 43 seconds in time of possession, lost the turnover battle, and they're only 22% on third down at 2 for 9. Now Keenum, but that's based on Keenum later. But Keenum also 25 to 40, both went 25 to 40 in this game. Keenum went 318. He averaged 7.9 yards an attempt. He had an interception, but he had that glorious touchdown. So sacks, he was sacked twice for 10 yards. His rating was 85.2. Latavius, 19 carries, 50 yards. McKinnon, 8 for 34. They each had a touch. We had 95 yards total. Diggs, you beautiful man, had 6 receptions for 137 yards in the game-winning touchdown at the end of the game. Thielen, 6 receptions for 74 yards, and he came up clutch the other drive, which I feel like we probably should have had another first down, but it appears it doesn't matter. And then Jarius Wright, 3 receptions for 56 yards and 18.7 yards per catch average. They had 403 total yards, 33 minutes and 17 seconds of time of possession. They won the turnover battle by 1. They had 24 first downs total, and they were 10 for 17 on third down at 59% and 2 of 3 in the red zone. The Saints, however, were 3 of 4 in the red zone. And then just as a little notes, this is going to be a very quick video just because this was a great win. Offense, you got to praise Diggs for that last play. You really do. Because if it's not for him staying in bounds there, we might not win this game because kickers, Minnesota, not the best. Even Joe Buck, of all people, even kind of went over this. We do not do well when it comes to kickers winning us a game, but Diggs came through, as did Keenum. Keenum, I think, actually had a pretty shaky first half, or just game in general, up until that point. Like, it kind of, but he came through. We needed him the most, which I feel like we may be looking at Case Keenum long-term now, like long-term just because of this game, but we really should have ran the ball better against this defense. This defense isn't known for run stuffing. And Latavius, 19 carries, only 50 yards, buddy. Do a little bit better going up against Philly next week, and that's a more formidable run defense. So, if we go over all of this, we eventually come down to what was a very flawed offensive game, but we found ways to win in the end, even though we probably really shouldn't have on the offensive side of the ball. We just we did more conversions on third down than they did, and we held the ball longer than they did. And in those aspects, you can say, well, they kind of did, but like, it's a little different at the same time. So, and then defensively, the first half, we cannot talk enough great things about that first half defensively. Breeze was, 8 of 18 for like, I don't know how many yards, but he had 2 interceptions. And it looked like it might be a rout at that point, but then my inner Viking fan just kind of said, hold on, wait a minute. It's the Vikings. And sure enough, they came back. So I feel like the bad second half is hopefully not going to continue because I feel like there is no other offense with as many weapons as New Orleans has in that thing. Like, just in the playoffs, no offense has more weapons than the New Orleans Saints. So keep that in mind when we have to go up to Philly, because we go up to Philly, it's Nick Foles. That's the quarterback. Nick Foles with his RPO offense from last night. So it's gonna be fun to watch that. So, but yeah, to me, Barr had some great plays and he had some bad plays. To me, the bad plays in pass coverage. He's great in run defense. I love him in run defense. He had the 1 interception, but it was tipped by Griffin, who had a pretty good game as well. But it just kind of, he felt a little timid at times. I didn't really like that. We need him to be not so timid, but nonetheless, we got the W, and we're moving on to Philly, and I see you then.